Big old box of bullets, but none of them fit my gun. Spring in the seat of my Model T, and stab me in the bum. Got caught jerking off while visiting my mom.
My goodness.
Family that done bit me, gave me rabies and lockjaw. I'm up shit creek.
I'm up shit creek.
Without a paddle.
Without a paddle.
I lost the war. But I won the battle. My treasure's lost.
Where'd it go?
My money's spent.
Someone took my money.
My baby's gone.
Oh, yeah, so
She up and went. I'm on a one-legged horse without a saddle. I'm up shit creek without a paddle. My lady's pregnant, but the baby isn't mine. And pictures of my dad's new girl looking an awful lot like mine. Knives didn't shake and stink, my clothes are torn and old. Spent 6 hours in a bread line, but all I got was mo. I'm up shit creek.
I'm up shit creek.
Without a paddle.
Without a paddle.
I lost the war. But I won the battle. My treasure's lost.
Where'd it go?
My money's spent.
Who the fuck took my money?
My baby's gone.
Oh, yeah, so
She up and went. I'm on a one-legged horse without a saddle. I'm up shit creek without a paddle. I'm on a one-legged horse without a saddle. I'm up shit creek without a paddle.
You guys, tonight's a special night. It's Dez's birthday. It's your birthday, Des. Where you going? Are you going to the SIP? Are you going to the White Rabbit? What are you doing tonight? Are you here? Des is here. It is her birthday. Everyone tell Des happy birthday. Well, Dad finds the bird head. Listen, Des, we have something special for you. Dad figured out a copyright loophole, okay? And because of that copyright loophole, we get to hear some Righteous Gemstone songs tonight. Just one. Just one. If it cuts us off, Dad did not find a loophole around the copyright. But if it doesn't cut us off, we found a birthday loophole, and it's here for you, and it's coming up next. Happy birthday, Des.
It shines brighter than all the rest. Let's give her a big Locust Grove round
Let's
of
see if it
applause. Miss Judy Lee.
We're going to see Judy Lee sing it instead of Amy Lee. And I think it'll work.
Miss Judy
Let's
Lee.
see.
Hey, y'all.
Come on now.
We'll get ready to dance. Who's ready to misbehave?
Mama told me not to. I did it anyway. Misbehaving.
Daddy said don't, but I said I'm gonna misbehaving.
I was on a windowsill swimming in the creek.
Get your crawdads and playing with a stick.
I wore lipstick.
And I got caught shaving. Just
Two little country kids outside misbehaving.
We thought we was just messing around till we met that man in the 4
thorny crown. He talks and tricks and mischief leads to Satan.
Satan.
So from now on, there's no misbehaving.
Here we go now.
By the way, this is how we call Hudson. This is how we call Satan. We use clogging and Baby Billy's bedtime bunkers. You know what? I'm going back. I like it so much. We're going back before it's even done. Oh my God.
Mine's broader than all the rest. Let's give her a big Locust Grove round of applause. Miss Judy Lee.
And who'd have thought Amy Lee was the chick from Sugarland? I didn't know that. Jennifer Nettles is from Sugarland? I didn't know what that was. I'm like, Sugarland, Texas? Okay, so she's from the Houston area or wherever that is. Nope. Turns out it's a band and she's in it. And she's in it. You always, you don't misbehave. Misbehave does Darlene. Misbehaves out there, Darleneing. Yeah, how did I not know?
Judy Lee.
Hey, y'all.
Come on now. Hit it.
No.
Mama told me
Your
not to.
mom.
I did it anyway. Misbehaving.
Daddy said don't, but I said I'm gonna misbehaving.
I was on a windowsill swimming in the creek.
Get your grown ass and playing with a stick.
I wore lipstick.
And I got caught shaving. Just two little country kids outside misbehaving. We thought we was just messing around till we met that man in the thorny crown. He talks and tricks and mischief leads to Satan. Satan. So from now on, there's no misbehaving.
Here we go now.
Plug it out. Plug it out, Walter.
Come on now, you got
Walton.
Come on out here now.
Whatever.
Come on, Judy.
Come on, Judy. You can do it, Judy.
Come out here. Come on now.
Huh.
You got this, girl.
You got this, girl. Oh, get it, girl. Oh, and then it slows down a little. It's like a sweet moment. Oh, look at your daughter being like your wife, John Goodman. My God, this part made me cry the first time I saw it, and I hadn't even seen the show. I just saw this clip, and I was already in tears. I was like, "Why is the music so slow? What's going on? Why am I getting all weepy? Who are those kids? What is happening? Oh, look at that '80s outfit. Who is that? Why is John sad? No, Dan Connor, don't be sad." I remember, this had me. Oh, if you're not weeping right now, you are hardened as hell. Hardened as hell. Oh, God. Oh, we don't even get the end. But it's fine. It's fine. Because we have this. Oh, shit, big turd.
Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens. Big turd. Do you see him? Uh-oh.
Concrete jungle, wet dream tomato. You know, about New York. I like old rap, though. I don't listen to much new rap.
What's old to you? Old rap. To me, it's
Let's see.
Jay-Z and Tupac.
Mm,
No,
no.
you've heard of Jay-Z.
Yeah, and Tupac. I've heard of both of them. I just
Oh.
don't listen to them like that.
Jesus Christ, this girl. Cheese and rice, y'all. How are you doing today? Did you like that? Found a way to squeeze in righteous gemstones. If we're still here, then it worked. Are we still here? I got to scroll down. I already got late. Those geese. Fuck those gooses. Fuck. This is my yard. You guys, happy birthday to Dez. It's Dez's birthday. I did find the bird head. I'm going to pop it on randomly tonight. You're not going to know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to do that after I clean out the sticky stuff inside of it. Now, where did that come from? I don't fucking know. I don't even know what it is. It looks like some form of tape. I don't recall doing that. But here we are. All right. back to death, but I'm always listening. Don't forget what Marcus gave me. Hey, listen, that was not Bill Maher's saddest day. Bill Maher's had much sadder days. I promise you that. She is dumb as a box of hammers, but I'll tell you what, that's a funny clip. Thank goodness for her. What's wrong with my fucking camera? What's wrong with my camera? What the hell happened? Why am I blurry? Oh, it's probably nodes. It's probably fucking nodes. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm blurry. I'm in a portal. Ah, shit. Yeah, shit. I'm blurry face. Okay, let me see. Let me try to get unsmudged. Let's see what we can do. Can we do nothing about it? Hear yes, see no. Oh, no. Let me tap it. Did that work? Did that work? What the fuck? I'm delayed. I look drunk. I have glitch face. How dare you? Resting glitch face? Hold on. Let me try this. Hey yo. Nope. Still bad. Still bad. Fuck. I look drunk. I look blurrier than Mel. Oh no. Well, what happened? Did you guys fix it? It's goddamn StreamYard, son of a bitch. God damn it. Hail. Danny Thomas, welcome. I'm blurry right now. I blame the moon as well. Well, could you guys see the videos okay? I think it's Elon. What's happening? Why is this happening? Well, this is a terrible night to do it, to have that happen. Because I got a lot of cool shit to show you, and now I'm pissed off. What are we going to do? I'll tell you what, I'm going to let Jazz for Cows play, and then I'm going to figure this out. I'll be right back. StreamYards and nodes? Fuck. All right, let's try removing that. And let's try adding it to the stage again. Pathetic. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. I'll be right back, you guys. I'll be right back. Is that better? It's not better, is it? It's fucking nodes. I can see the little one bar thing. Connection is unstable. I am unstable. Of course it is. Can we fix it? StreamYard, why do I give you so much fucking money? StreamYard? I'm going to stop giving you money, and I'm going to start telling people to mail you tampons if you don't fix this shit. StreamYard, are you out there? Hashtag StreamYard. Intervention. Muted now. Oh, they have muted me, I see. Oh, they have muted me? Oh, okay. Okay, great. Fantastic. Remove. I will remove myself. Okay, I think I figured it out. Not muted? Okay. You can't hear my StreamYard rant? You can. You can hear me. Hey, listen. It does suck donkey dick, Sherry. And there's no donkeys out there, only cows, but it also sucks cow dick. 1-800-MIC-HUNT. Call him. Call him right now. Don't say I'm muted when I'm not. I know I'm not muted now. You can hear me. Yeah, see, Nosy told me the truth. Every time I pop myself up, the bar on the little 3 Wi-Fi thing, the little triangle, it goes down. It goes down. This is why we keep Mandy Joe around. These are non-lactic cows. Or these are lactic. These are lactators. They are lactators. These are moo cows. Are these Jersey? Are they Simbrow? I don't know. I can't recall. Check the weather, bitch. I know. We have tornado warnings. Tornado warnings tonight, everyone. Okay, lactators mount up. Get ready to rise. We're going to squirt milk at these hoes tonight. You understand? Lactose-free cows? Yes. They just squirt dust out of their nipples. All right? Twat, did you say I can't hear you? Listen, I ain't seeing no one next Tuesday. All I'm saying is StreamYard's about to get Wednesdayed. All right? And I don't even know what that means. Yeah, tornadoes. We got tornadoes in the area. Sweet Turdson. I like that. You guys, I found a bounty I wanted to show you tonight. And I got a little distracted by an old case I wanted to talk to you about because I finally got a FOIA request back that I've been looking for, that I've been trying to get for a while. Okay. And I hope that you guys can at least hear me. Okay. If I just look like a blurry, pixelated, pasty white bitch, I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine with it breaking up considering the amount of money I give these fucking monsters. I'm going to go move their router. And then we're going to get to the beef of this tonight. Okay. Let's watch the beef dance. I am always distracted. I'm perma-stracted. Do you understand? Extract the data from my head. It's just a mess. I was chased by cows, the non-human cows. It was scary, and I ran. All they would do was give you kisses. They should be scared of us because we catch them. We take their milk. We squeeze their nipples. Could you imagine if someone kept you in a cage and then every day just squeezed your nipples? Actually, I bet you could. I bet most of you guys would really like that. I'm sorry. I listen, you guys enjoy your fetishes. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. So before we get into the serious shit, let's see if that worked. I don't think it worked very well. Am I still blurry? I'm still very blurry. That's unfortunate. See, I played the cows because one of you guys asked me, you said, Dad, I used to play clarinet, and you said you played clarinet, and you said you still have your clarinet, and you said that you still play it all the time. And I said, yes, I did. And you asked if you could see it. Now, I don't have my Rosewood Normandy. I have this one. Okay. I have this one. It's not a Rosewood. I'm Blur. Okay. Well, I guess I'm Blur tonight. I guess you'll see a blurry clarinet. Now, I'm not going to play it because I don't believe I have the right. I don't have the right reed. It's not lubed up. It's not ready to go. But, and I'm not going to pull the whole thing out. Sorry. But I will show you part of it. Look, this is what my clarinet looks like. I told you guys I have a green clarinet. Now with the green screen, it's kind of funny. It matches it. So if I did play it with the background, okay. If I did, I wonder if the clarinet would blend in. I don't know. I really don't. But I do have my clarinet on me, and one of these days I will play it for you. And we will do When the Cows Come Marching Home, or whatever the fuck that song's called. When the Saints, is it Saints? I don't know. But anyways. Yeah, pull it out. I wish. Yeah, that is a Stanley paint color. The reeds are always dry. They're always dry. You got to lick them. You got to moisten the reeds, okay? You got to get a good wet reed in if you're going to play. You got to get your reed wet, all right? That was your elementary school fight song? Oh, shit. Ours was like, fight, fight, fight. Dun, 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 dun. It was something like that. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, looking like a white Frida Kahlo. Oh, cool. I'm just going to do a little line right there. Tiff, she's dead. You've killed someone. Good for you. Good for you. We finally got bodies in this cult. Excellent. I did tell you have Karen Reeds 2 free. Okay. And I was telling Melissa tonight that we have not gotten to the sexual assault phase of the cult yet. I hope to never get there. But if we do, I am going to make you watch The Longest Yard with me. Okay. Yeah, I'm white as fuck. I'm pale. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, you guys didn't think that? What'd you think? They're not going to free themselves. True. Look, I don't know why it has one bar tonight. It's probably all of the fucking tornadoes. As long as you can hear me. Look, I'm going to jump. Nothing? Do I have streaks? Do I have streaks? What about a hotspot? You changed your 1080p last night. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I think it's Sea Org. It's definitely Sea Org. I've not heard back. I actually call them pretty frequently. They're starting to get a little annoyed with me not leaving the Denver airport. And I did use a Google Voice number from Denver. And someone called it back, but it wasn't them. And then when I checked the messages on that one, it was somebody trying to literally sell me car insurance, which I found quite funny. Because I was like, bitches, I'm doing planes. I'm not even fucking with cars right now. What are you guys talking about? Okay, so I guess we'll try hotspotting it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if it helps. Because this is pathetic as fuck, you guys. This is really bad. And I think it'll probably only work. Let's see how long we can get it to work, you know? Let's see how long we can get it to work. Maybe we'll have to come back to it, you know? Hello, Stevie. Don't be scared. I've been trying, but we need more men to assault. I know. We don't have enough. When we get enough men, you will all assault them. Stevie, right now, I'm afraid it's just you. The devil didn't even come to the Satan song, okay? What about the Alf sex line? Hey, we're still going to fuck Alf, okay? We're still going to do that. Absolutely. You know what's kind of funny is I was checking my demographics, and as time goes on, we are skewing more towards teenage boys, and that's scary. So we're going to have to cover some other stuff, you guys. We're going to have to cover some other stuff. I can't have that demographic. I can't end up on a band field. All right? It'll all be your fault. But listen, old Banner did have a pretty decent she had a pretty decent it's like a 3-minute 54. It's like 4 minutes of goodness. I'm gonna give her a flower. She showed some shit that I've been waiting. I'm like, I wonder when this is gonna come out. I didn't want to order it. I couldn't afford it. It's too expensive to order a lot of this shit, and some of it is really cheap. But when you're getting like evidence photos and things like that, anything where shit needs to be redacted, that's why people want to know why FOIAs cost so much. I'm about to tell you. the more expensive a FOIA is, and write this shit down because people will get so incensed about it. I used to be super pissed. I used to bitch about it all the time. I've spoken with some people who actually used to work there. By the way, the FOIA offices and the state level clerk assistants and the people who work to get your information to you, give a big shout out to your new president, Donald Trump, for firing most of them. So if you thought freedom of information was actually free, it's going to take longer, and they're raising the prices. So it's going to be more expensive now, and you might not get anything back. And there are no checks and balances now really over that. There's maybe a couple of places where there are, namely DC, you know, the places that involve his corruption shit. Yeah. So a lot of that got knocked the fuck out. Like, I used to be able to speak to someone directly in Texas if I was calling to try to find some information that I was having a hard time finding. Now it's all behind a paywall. It's all automated. It's extremely frustrating. And there are less people literally getting the documents because, again, a lot of people got fired. That is super fucking unfortunate. I do think it is going to change a lot of, it's going to change a lot for advocates, but also for people who are representing themselves, pro se, and people who maybe are just trying to learn about their own case so that they can hire a lawyer that's competent. It's going to affect court cases. And why was this done? So the rapist president doesn't get in more trouble, I guess. I don't know. But that is the selfishness. That is our government. So really think about that when you're voting. Really think about that kind of shit. I don't remember eggs costing $8 2 years ago. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I don't remember eggs costing $8 to $10. Yeah, gas is a little cheaper. Have fun eating. Because when I'm spending $4 at McDonald's for a coffee, I'm fucking pissed. Okay. I don't need gas every day. I need coffee every day, though. Dude, and you know what's great? I showed you guys a while back. They had to, like, an entire university had to do a study on how to FOIA in Massachusetts because they couldn't get documents because they are not abiding by the fucking rules there. And there's so many that get denied so much, and so many that end up not providing the information that is asked for, that they had to literally take a class and do a study on it so that they could write an entire fucking research analysis on how to FOIA improperly in mass to get the proper results. That is absurd. That is a problem. Write your representatives. Anyway, there's some Delphi shit that came out. Ashley Banner had it. Proud of them. Thank you, News Nation. Thank you for not copywriting shit so that I can show it to everyone. That fucking rules. That's why we hate lovingly and we hate from time to time. But right now, we love. And this is a hell of a still. This is a hell of a still shot of Homegirl, but here it is. I'm showing this to you today because we are eventually going to be perhaps going over and listening to all of the footage of Richard Allen's interrogation. Now, I will say this. I've watched it. Yeah, this is not blurry. I don't know why. It's me. It's me, you guys. We are going to be going over all of the interrogations and the interviews in Richard Allen's case. Why are we going to do that? We're going to do it later. I don't know if I'm going to members only it or not, but I will say this much. I'm going to make it something to where we're just live watching it. We're picking it apart. We're not going to take sides. We're going to literally see, is this okay? Is this ethical the way that they did it? Because that seems to be one of the major issues that has come out since Tom Webster, bless his heart. Thank you, Tom. He went and put all this footage out for everyone to see. And while it pretty much solidified for me more of how I feel about it, that doesn't matter. It put the information out so everyone could see it. I was kind of surprised at the way people viewed it and how they analyzed it. Like, there were some parts where I will say the investigators were very overly aggressive. They lost their fucking shit. They were a little too emotional, maybe. And it really did look very, 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 very bad for them, just the way they were behaving. However, was it legal? Was it okay? Is it a good interview or a bad interview? I would say some of it good, but like the interrogation, sure. The reactions and the way that they spoke to him could have been handled better. They could have withheld all the passion, perhaps, and done their jobs a little better. But I don't live in that community, and I had yet to see. In fact, I still haven't seen all of the crime scene stuff that came out, and I'm sure that they probably were affected heavily by that. Does that make an excuse for it? No. But I will say it is telling what people get passionate about, what they get angry at, compared to the purpose of the interviews and the interrogation. I think it's very interesting. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, the interrogation it's infuriating at times. It kind of reminds me at times, and I'm going to say this, and I'm sure people will use this later to fucking hit me back with it, but I'm not going to lie. I do feel like there were times when it reminded me a lot of Yogurt Shop murders and Brendan Dassey and Stephen Avery, like the way that they were screamed at. And the almost threatening language that was used was like, oh shit, no wonder this guy's fucking terrified. But at the same time, it's legal. Yeah, sadly, it's legal. However, not sadly, in light of a lot of the information that the jury and the people in the court saw, I'm a little pissed off at some of the things that were left out by those reporting on it. And I'm really glad that I trusted Turbo, because she gave both sides, even if she was getting shit on. She's like, it's not even both sides. It's literally just what she saw, because she was there. And I did wonder, why aren't some of our fucking YouTubers that we rely on, that we respect, reporting this? It felt very one-sided. And it's nice to see that get backed up a little bit, so that we're not all like those of us who do feel like they did the right thing, not necessarily the methods, but as far as who was convicted, do I think he got a super fair trial? Not really. But I do think they have the right guy, and that's a sticky situation, right? So I'm grateful that she at least covered everything. So I'm going to go ahead and play this so that you guys can see it. Hello, Kate's Crusty Couch. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is some of the stuff that came out recently, and then we will move on, and hopefully it won't be as blurry. I do apologize. We do have tornado warnings out the wazoo, so I think that's what's going on, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so check this out.
5 murders were tried in the court of public opinion, almost from the moment they happened in February of 2017. Abigail Williams, who was 13, and her best friend Liberty German, 14, were attacked and killed while hiking near an abandoned railway bridge in the heart of Indiana. It took investigators 5 years to home in on a suspect, and I do mean home. The man they arrested was a Delphi pharmacy tech known to pretty much everybody in town. But was Richard Allen really the infamous bridge guy, or wasn't he? Evidence shown to the public consisted mainly of a short, grainy video clip from one of the victim's phones. But at trial, the jury that convicted Richard Allen saw hundreds of exhibits that we, the public, did not see because cameras were barred from the courtroom, and those exhibits have stayed pretty much under wraps until now. Our News Nation affiliate in Indianapolis got a hold of some of that evidence, and reporter Max Lewis takes us through it.
I'm glad you said it, because they're about to show you. Also, you're about to see the memory box. You're about to see a lot of things. You're about to see the specific Sig Sauer casing. Keep in mind that is a 16-year-old gun, you guys. It's going to have specific markings in it, whether it's chambered or not, whether the round is spent or not. It doesn't matter. There are a lot of microscopic things that even the camera picks up. That's very interesting to me. I'm not a huge fan of guns, but my parents do kind of build them. My dad builds them for like a living. He has his whole life and he reloads and creates his own ammo. And I can tell you that there are very specific things about bullets that I wish we could have seen up close. I see a lot of people talking striations. They don't know shit because it wasn't a shot round. However, there are other things that were very important. Also, I had an instructor who he actually did the what's his name? The serial killer in Canada. I talk about him a lot. Russell Williams. He crafted the entire Russell Williams interrogation for the guy who did that interview and interrogation. And he had a lot of thoughts on Delphi. He thought it was harsh. I'd love him to come on, but he's teaching right now. He thought it was really harsh, but he also thinks they got the same guy. And he said sometimes with these dudes, when they have that long of a head start, they find, they found it. They found it. And when they have that long of a head start, it really does give them more time to figure out what am I going to say? You know what I mean? What am I going to do? What happens if what happens if this comes up, if that comes up? And that can be detrimental, but it can also allow someone to have time to harden on this. She did. I heard her talk quite a bit about it. And oddly enough, she did talk. Here's what I'll say, because this is what I remember. I remember her saying that she had attended this specific conference, right? And there's a lot of information about that conference online. And when we talk about this, I will pull that up, where these analysts of bullets and guns, just firearms in general, but they also specialize in things like grenades, to those of you who are Marcus fans. There was a huge debate among that community, among the firearms community and the forensics community, in regards to what exactly can be done, forensically speaking, to test bullets, bullet casings, firearms, and general directions of shootings and the impact, depending on if somebody makes their own ammo or not. The different brands that come out, there is a database of all of this shit that the FBI has, that law enforcement has, and there's a way that they do this. If you ever saw it on Forensic Files, when they shoot the gun into the water, when they test the impact, when they test the muzzle markings that are on a person and how far away they are versus how close they are. These are all things that it's studied heavily. And there was a huge conference on it where there were literal arguments about this at the conference. And she talked about it briefly. And she really gave her opinion on Richard Allen in the one interview I saw her speak on this about. She gave her opinion and she cited specific things that had nothing to do with the bullets. And I was kind of pissed because I'm like, that's something you can actually give us insight to. And she didn't. And it just would have been nice if the one time she could have not spoke out of her ass, if she would have taken that opportunity. And she didn't, but she did seem to side with the Richard Allen is guilty clique, which fair enough. I'm in that. I agree. However, her reasons were not from a place of, in my opinion, not from a place of her expertise when they could have been. And that's what's so infuriating. Okay, we'll continue.
Cameras were banned from the Delphi courtroom where Richard Allen was tried and ultimately found guilty for the 2017 murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. We requested hundreds of exhibits from this trial, but only received a fraction of them. Still, it's the first time they're being seen outside the courtroom.
The actual crime scene photos remain sealed in the case, but this diagram shown to the jury is what it looked like. Libby German's naked body next to Abby Williams, both covered with tree branches.
Okay, and yet again, I have a problem with this because they were leaked. Unfortunately, I did not want to see them, but they popped up in my timeline. And the first thing that I noticed when I saw them was that everybody making renditions of them, even this one, doesn't it look like these are all separate sticks, right? Like they were placed there. When you actually see them, some of these are connected. They are a branch with connecting sticks on them, little branches connected that grew like that from fucking nature.
Both covered with.
Why is this a big deal? Because if a tree branch grows in the shape of an F or a rune, if you will, that is not placed there. Therefore, the Odinism defense, hooey at that moment. Okay, they didn't fucking bonsai a tree to put on top of these poor kids. All right, it grew like that, and they were laid upon them, or they fell upon them. It could have been to cover them up, I don't know, but to make a display of religious intent, no. And even this picture does not do it justice because of the way it looks, the way they laid it. I mean, maybe those look connected right there, but I'm telling you right here, like some of this shit, nope. Unfortunate.
Tree branches. Their bodies found on February 14th, 2017, along Deer Creek in Delphi. Police would ultimately focus their attention on Allen after discovering an interview he gave shortly after the murders, saying he was on the.
I was wondering that too. And then here's the thing. There are a couple of cases. They're in New York. Actually, there's 3 in New York, 1 in Jersey, 1 near Connecticut, and I can't remember exactly if it's on like the bordering line or not, but they're older cases where young ladies who were attacked and murdered were covered with branches, right? And some of them were placed there because someone was covering them, and then they heard something and they ran away. They were like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So they didn't finish. This seems to be the case in a lot of cases where people perhaps did not pre-plan what they were doing, and so they did unexpected things happen. And so, yeah, you have a tree in your yard, you might be Odin. So when unexpected things happen, either because they didn't plan well or because they didn't plan at all, it often leads investigators to think this could be a crime of passion or something that was convenience, and I do wonder. There, and if you see the leaves around, there were leaves. There was dirt, but it also looks like one of them might have been dragged up. He might have been exhausted. Some of these killers will get adrenaline if he is in a state of psychosis. He could have come out of psychosis and then just stopped. Why people do the crazy things they do, I don't know. But I do know that there were no signs whatsoever in his house, nor a history of Odinism, nor a history of hanging out with the people said that could have helped him do it. No connection whatsoever. And simultaneously, in order for the Odinism thing to be true, it would have had to be other people according to the entire Frank's memo. So when you consider that those people were on camera at that very time in a completely different city, I mean, what else is there? It all falls apart. So I find that strange. Again, why he did it, I don't know. He could have also done it to, it just seems like potentially he might have started to try to cover them up. And then he just was like, yikes, I got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? That's just what I think. Why are you yelling at your phone? Can we move on? No, we can't. Yeah, I don't think that, I don't know that we're going to get a reason why, because every time he gives reasons or he states that he did something, nobody believes him. So there's that. He wasn't going to hang out with the dead bodies if he got spooked. What do you mean? I think he was spooked and yeeted before he could finish. Yeah, and then he tossed some shit on there and then he left. I just think that I think it's kind of a moot point, frankly, especially because of the religious iconography that got brought into it early on. I think everybody's going to be stuck on that for a while. But the amount of murderers who will place like one piece of cardboard over a woman, but not the wound is strange. I mean, there are at least 100 cases where somebody put something on top of someone they murdered and it serves no purpose. It doesn't cover up where the injury is. It's not a personal act. It's not someone they knew. It's not covering up their face. There are some where somebody starts to write something in blood and then they stop and then they don't remember doing it because they blacked out. There are some where they literally just toss some leaves on, like a handful, and then run away. There was one where a guy just put a rope on the girl and it was like in almost an S position and it meant nothing. He just didn't want to take the rope with him and threw it. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they do treat them like garbage. They throw them out. If he was having a psychotic breakdown, I mean, and here's the thing, based on his past and the way that he speaks of it in the future when he's eventually in prison or in jail, if you will, you know, the way that he speaks on it and the way that it looks, especially with them having to administer the drugs they had to administer and the quick change, like the very day that he sounds totally cognizant, aware, and in almost a good mood on the phone talking about God and religion, that same night he was eating his own shit. So within a few hours, he went from one extreme to the other, and he was videoed and he was not beaten. He was not tortured. Like the jail, his therapist could see everything. And it was just a sudden switch. You know, one moment he wants an iPad to communicate with people, and the next moment he's smashing it. So, like, what do you do? Yeah, they drugged him once he started behaving like that, and then it chilled, you know, and that's what you're supposed to do. It's really like, it's really a fascinating and unfortunate situation that this guy went through. However, you know, look at, I just don't see anybody defending Rex Heuermann, who was also in a pretty terrible spot while he is awaiting his sentencing. There's quite a few. I mean, fucking the Boston bomber, they locked him down in SEG like immediately. It's very strange. Like Koberger, that whole situation, it just seems this whole like, I trust the Innocence Project. I like the Innocence Project, but I do feel like people are hopping on the everyone's innocent bandwagon now. And it just feels strange. It just feels really strange. Yeah, fuck tons of evidence on Rex Heuermann that we saw, but we didn't get to see it for Richard. We're having to FOIA it all now. And because they didn't make and pretty soon Rex's court shit's going to be on lockdown. I wouldn't say she has zero credibility, but respect. Some people think she sucks. I don't think she sucks. I do think that it was wild as fuck when she said the Gray Hughes thing. That was nuts. I was like, Jesus, that part made me go, oh no. You know, but I mean, nothing really illegal, I guess, in that. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue this. It's strange, but we are going to dive into it later. I just wanted to show you guys this because it is fascinating.
Shown to the jury is what it looked like. Libby German's naked body next to Abby Williams, both covered with tree branches. Their bodies found on February 14th, 2017, along Deer Creek in Delphi. Police would ultimately focus their attention on Allen after discovering an interview he gave shortly after the murders, saying he was on the trails that day. That led to a search of Allen's home, where newly public photos show his black Ford Focus in the garage, the same one prosecutors say that was seen on surveillance cameras near the trail that day. Inside his home, investigators found numerous knives, including box cutters, which is believed to have been the murder weapon. Police also found this blue Carhartt jacket, similar to the one the bridge guy was wearing the day the girls were killed. But detectives say the big find was his Sig Sauer P226, which a firearms examiner later connected to an unspent bullet found at the crime scene. The startling.
Okay, now one thing I will say, and this is going to make people fucking cream who hate my point of view on this, but sorry, that doesn't look like the jacket he was wearing in the car. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like the one he's wearing in the car. And I think the one that he's wearing in the car in that video looks exactly like the one Bridge guy had. This does not so much to me. This looks more denim, but at the same time, I don't know Carhartt jackets that well. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I do think that, I mean, sure, they had this entered into evidence. They also had the video, I believe, of him readily available online. So I'm curious about that. I'm very curious about that. Yeah, by the way, also Innocence Project, my friend's dad helped start it. And I'm telling you, like, there is shit that they believe that I do not like. There are some cases that I'm like, nope, I think that person's totally fucking guilty. So just like anyone else, they're not perfect. But I do think it's very, very interesting, some of the stuff that they choose to hone in on. When it comes to Lacey and Scott Peterson, yeah, I think that he did it. And we'll have to dive into that. That was like a year of my life taken from me when I started FOIAing that case and trying to learn more about it. I think Scott fucking did it. I don't know why they're doing this. I think it's because of the home invasion theory. And if so, oh shit, that is going to be a huge waste of time, in my opinion. However, just my opinion. I also think BK is done too. Yeah, absolutely. And the evidence but see, that's the thing is, this isn't just they presented a lot of evidence. Some of it we don't get to see, and it's very unfortunate, but I get why. But some of it we don't get to see, and I don't fucking get why. Like, I don't get why. It makes no sense to me. Some of it to protect the girls and their dignity, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I would have liked to see more evidence too. Oh, definitely. And I get that no DNA thing, but you got to remember this was years later. Like, that's the unfortunate thing about cold cases. Like with Rex's, many years later, still found a hair, right? Still found a hair. But if they had let the FBI get in that shit, or hell, even now, if they let the FBI get in that shit and help them more, especially with the lab stuff, I really feel like they could have pulled evidence. And I do feel like this could be a serious contention and a possible appeal, in which case I hope that they do eventually pull some DNA evidence. But fuck, dude, that is a huge mistake they made. And I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it or make excuses for them. You're right. They should have pulled more. They should have tried to, at least. I didn't see enough on that. And that pisses me off. And that's what I mean by, I do think they got the right guy, but I think they got the wrong fucking pathway to it. I think that they highlight a lot of the wrong points. And I think they spent a lot of time arguing with third-party shit that could have just been completely avoided with a couple of specific things. And unfortunately, some of the evidence that really does incriminate him is the type of shit that no one wants to see because it's really fucked up. And it's just, I don't know. And I agree. Yeah, right? Like, I don't think that this is the same jacket, like, at all, that Bridge guy was wearing. But the one that he was wearing looks exactly like the one Richard is wearing in the fucking car. So why are they not showing us that? I would like to see that. It makes me wonder if it's an absence of evidence situation. Like, did he get rid of that jacket? I would like to know.
Similar to the one the Bridge guy was wearing the day the girls were killed. But detectives say the big find was his Sig Sauer P226, which a firearms examiner later connected to an
Okay, do you see this gun? Do you see how fucking old that is? So my dad has, is it a Kimber or a Sig? It's really old. Very similar with, like, see all the scratchings and the little dents and stuff. So when you're cleaning guns, you can take this whole thing apart and pull this little guy out right here, right? And there's chamber pins and things that you can use to clean them. I think that's what they're called. And I watch my dad do it all the time. It's almost like I haven't seen him clean a gun in a while, because I don't live there. But I remember the process is long, it's extensive, and you can use these little metal rods to go in there and clean them. Now, let me give you an example. I was trying to explain this a long time ago. When you're cleaning it, you can use a cloth, you can use different things, right? But if you pull out, and let's say you have a metal rod or something that you're using to stuff it down there, what does that do? That scratches, right? Well, what if you do that on the chamber? What if you're cleaning out and you do that, right? And a bullet's spinning, and then you stop it, or it misfires. Like, there are all sorts of tiny little markings. Let's say you shoot the bullet and it goes all the way out, and you have a little strip there on the inside where you want scratch. You're going to see that line on the bullet. Isn't that cool? It's microscopic, but it exists. And that's one of the ways that they can also use that, not just the striation, not just the muzzle burns. Like, there are all these different things that they can look at to figure out, does this bullet go to this gun? And I really wish that they would have had someone publicly come out and explain this to everyone step by step and show the actual gun. This is the first time we're getting to see this. And this looks like an almost 20-year-old weapon to me. You can see, like, it's got, I'm pointing at my screen like you guys can see this. It's got little scratches. It's got nicks right here. See those little dots? See that? I don't know if it shows up well, but on my screen, you could definitely see like a lot of different shit on the outside that it looks worn. It looks like a gun that's been used a bit. Now, what does the inside look like to a microscopic lens? Oh, shit. Probably quite a bit different. Hell, up here where you, like, everything where you put the bullets, all of it might look totally different, might give us some insight. Wish someone would have done that.
Later connected to an unspent bullet found at the crime scene. The startling find was this Winchester .40 caliber bullet inside a memory box, the same type of ammunition found between the girls' bodies. Prosecutor Nicholas McClellan called it the Bridge Guy starter pack.
I think maybe I'm losing my mind, but I'm not sure. I need you to know that I did this.
What? No, you didn't, dear. There's no way. There's no way, dear.
Love me.
We've also obtained the phone calls Allen made from the Westville prison in which he confessed to killing the girls. It was during this time the doctors also determined Allen was going through a period of psychosis.
I just wanted to apologize to you.
What's going on, sweetheart?
I did it.
You did
no,
what?
I did it.
What?
I killed Abby. I killed Abby and Libby.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Now, of course, there's a lot more exhibits than what we were able to show you on here. You can find them, as well as all of our coverage on the Delphi murders trial, over on our website, cbs4indy.com.
So here's where I'm going to give a little shit to News Nation. That specific outtake that they just played, where he said he did it, right? There are two things about that. One, to be fair, just to be fair, it doesn't matter. You can say you did it 1,000 times. The evidence has to match up, right? This is what we know. I agree. He could sound doped, but he could sound calm. Is he calm because he was doped? Or is he calm because he's trying to remain firm? It's not just that one, though, Toombs. There are quite a bit. Yeah, how much did they edit? That's what I was about to get to, darling. This is what I wish they would have done. I wish that they would have double-checked, because when I went through and found that exact clip, I believe that was hours before he was actually drugged. They make it sound like he was in the state of psychosis at that point. This is where I think there's a communication error with the way the media is putting it out. Here's another issue. And I believe it was, you would think, but this exact clip that they played, he had not had the Halidol yet, if I'm thinking correctly, because I did go through and find it, and I'm like, wait, but they said he was administered Halidol that night. So while it's the same day, it's actually hours after the phone call. So this is interesting to me. Also, here's another thing, though. Haldol, some people take that regularly. Some people take that. It is prescribed to them, and they function on it. They work on it. They do think they are with their families, and no one would guess. They're just calm and normal. So it really depends. Now, when they drugged him, he was supposedly drooling. He was supposedly like out of it. And then he got his meds adjusted. You have to adjust to them, right? So this is a very confusing thing. And I wish there was a proper timeline put out. So maybe we can create it as we go. Because I feel like the media is putting out, like they'll say, he was drugged this day. Well, no, it was actually the evening, a few hours after this phone call. Like, that's a huge fucking deal, whether he was on drugs or not, isn't it? Hello, you two bad actors. So there were not only notes taken, regardless of if you don't believe her or not, he was videotaped 24/7 specifically because of this liability and the claims the lawyers were making. Now, the biggest thing that in this case, we're going to go deeper into this. The biggest thing that I find troubling and misperceived, I think, by a lot of people who view the Richard Allen case and have been following it, but also used by media in a way that I think is not proper. How do I put this? Okay. So one of the issues, sorry, I'm trying to think of exactly how to say this without it. I want it to make total sense. One of the biggest issues with how the information was put out in this case is not only just the timeline and how they represent that to everyone, and the literal order of statements and how things are done. And yes, these drugs are very, very complex, but one of the biggest things that fucking pisses me off and really bothers me is everybody saying like he was abused. There is not a single bit of footage of him being abused or spoken to with threats. And he has been video monitored 24/7. Okay. And the lawyer said, well, people could see him talking to us, and that is against, all the rules of, you should have privacy with your counsel and all this shit, right? Okay. Fair enough. All right. Let's pretend that. So at what point is it abuse, torture, or threatening if you have 24/7 video surveillance on you? You have notes being taken, and every single time you complain about something, you get to leave and go see a therapist. If you need something, they will get it to you. They replaced his iPad. They fucking gave him everything he needed. He had food. He was given food. He was never beaten. He was never in handcuffs while in his cell. That never happened. And because this man chooses to eat his own shit, everyone goes, oh, the system must be fucked up. I had to interview quite a few COs when I was taking the class on, basically it's all prison stuff. It's corrections. And that was a choice I made because I had limited electives available to me in that field of study. But I was like, this could be useful. The amount of COs who have had urine and shit thrown at them, who have seen people eating their own feces, not just because they're going crazy. Sometimes they do it for attention or to psych out someone so they don't get fucking molested in jail, or to piss off a guard and make them have to clean their shit because they're angry at a guard, or for other reasons. Like, this shit actually happens pretty frequently. Bodily fluids being flung at you are a fucking problem. So yeah, he had commissary snacks. He had quite a bit. He had his whole cell to himself. He said he was devouring feculence, I like that word, to seem crazy. So these are things that if you were to FOIA, you're not going to be able to get. Why? Because he's nude, covered in his own shit. And he has rights. And if you FOIA it, they will likely blur him and you will just see shit on the walls and hear him. But some of the things he was saying while he was doing this were after his wife refused to believe him. And after his diagnosis, here's the thing. Here's what's pissing me off. Everyone's like, but he was in a state of psychosis. Okay, why do you believe that? Why do you believe he was in a state of psychosis? Why? Because a doctor said so. Who's the doctor? Dr. Walla and other doctors, the same ones that we're shitting on. So why are we believing her over the psychosis, but nothing else. That kind of trips me out. Like, so her opinion is only good when it fits that. And I'm just saying, like, this is just a general thing. Like, really think about this. Like, okay, we're going to believe her that he was in a state of psychosis, but we're not going to believe her on anything else because she listened to podcasts. Like, this makes no sense to me. This makes no sense to me. And I agree, Dr. John did break it down very well. And what was his disorder? He has an issue where he needs to be validated in order to feel normal, in order to feel like someone's listening to him. And the invalidation drives him. His wife needs to be like, hey, I believe you. And if she doesn't, then he feels worse and he spirals. So if you're trying to confess to someone and they refuse to believe you because they are in a state of denial, and then your mother and then everybody that you love refuses to, he can never have his penance, and he's snapped into religion suddenly. And that actually is a pretty big deal to some people. Like, if someone doesn't take your confession seriously and you're in that religious trip, you might go a little bit fucking crazy. I think it was detachment disorder. I just remember as he was explaining it, I started looking into it and I'm like, oh shit, like this actually makes a lot of sense. And I was surprised at the amount of people who have this, who seem to display these behaviors post-crime. I find that interesting. He'll never fully confess now for fear of losing his wife, but that's because he did and she refused to believe him. She won't let him. So yeah, dependency disorder, that's what it is. It's like a codependency. Like, you need someone to validate you. Otherwise, you'll just believe what they say. DPD. But is dependency. I would love to get a therapist or a psychologist on here to talk about this some more. Aren't there multiple dependency disorders? And this is one of them. Finding religion is normal, says Darlene. True. Especially when you're locked up, right? So these are all good points. So I think the order of the phone call really matters, but what matters the most is we have video evidence. The state has video evidence. And while we, the public, can't get a hold of it, his lawyers could. So if he was being beaten and tortured, why did they not show that to the jury? Because it didn't exist. And that really bothers me. But again, if you confess to something, right? That doesn't matter. There needs to be interlocking evidence. There needs to be something connected to you. Now, Richard didn't show up and confess, and then they had to go out and find the evidence. They found the evidence. It led back to Richard, and then he confessed. And that is a huge, huge difference compared to a lot of other cases where that person ended up getting off for having not done it. So while I do think that I'm going to regret saying this. While I do think that he didn't maybe get the best trial, and I wish they would have done the investigation better, I can never say that for sure because I wasn't there. And none of us were. And they're leaving things out, things that can make a huge difference in whether or not they put an innocent man away, whether or not we should feel guilty for that, whether or not what we believe on it. Like, this is a tough one for people who need every single question answered. We're just not going to get that. And that's what fucking sucks. But here's what I know. If everybody thinks his lawyers are the fucking best on earth and they did their best, well, then where's the evidence to their claims? Because here's something that I noticed. The guy who wrote all the letters for Richard, claiming that he was abused, claiming that Richard was treated badly, claiming that Richard Allen was being taken advantage of, threatened by guards. There were Odinists. Do you know who initially brought that to everyone's attention? Somebody in the chat, tell me. I want you to put it in there. If you know who the first person was to speak up on that, to put a letter out and to say, I'm in jail with him and I've seen this, and to file actual papers to the court about it, Does anyone remember who that guy is? Because I remember who that guy is. He's called a prison lawyer. He's a famous prison lawyer there. Why? Because he's a kid raper. He raped and molested kids. He is a pedophile who is very well known for doing a ton of favors to people so he doesn't get murdered in prison. He needs to show his value, his talent, so that people keep him alive. What was his talent? Prison lawyer. How did he have time to get this talent? Because he wasn't a lawyer before he went in? Oh, he learned it because he's in there for a long time for fucking kids against their will. Rape. That's what he did. So he tried to make friends with Richard and then starts filing fucking motions, starts sending letters, filing motions, fucking boom, 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 boom. This is what happened to Richard, Odinism, all this shit. This came from a fucking child molester trying to get attention. And the media picked it up without looking into this guy, without realizing that he filed over 1,000 of those for other prisoners over the time. He's the JLR there. All right. He's the guy who wastes everybody's time. That's who that shit came from. That's who that shit came from. The first time we heard Richard was getting treated bad in prison came from that fucking guy who desperately wants attention, does this for everybody, and was trying to make a friend. Now, why would a guy who molests children think Richard Allen would be a good buddy? And why did Richard trust him? Pretty weird. You know what, YouTube bad actors? I'm going to go pull his name. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go pull it. Because I have that shit. We went over it on this channel before. You do have to have a talent in prison. And the guy's fucking gross. The guy's fucking weird. And he wrote a lot of these. And he's like, that's what he's notorious for. And he would try to get like commissary and shit from people. He would try to get like, his whole thing was he reminds me of like a Henry Lee Lucas. Like he just wants a Dr. Pepper, that type of shit. And then instead of letting it go, his lawyer stuck to it and then abandoned him, that guy, but kept his theories. And how did that guy know about this? Because these motherfuckers, they have iPads. They're allowed on the internet. This guy has visitors. He has people who write to him. He knows a lot about Richard's case before Richard even knew shit about his case. It's fucking wild. And then people are like, oh, but Keegan Klein. You think that these people, like Keegan's been talking to the murder sheet for what, a goddamn year before Richard even enters? Like these people know shit. So to act like, oh my God, all of a sudden, like how would they know it? They were in jail. Dude. Because fucking YouTubers are paying money to talk to them and tell them the tea. It's wild. It's really wild. Okay. We're now going to get to the point of tonight. All right. And I'm going to go look that up and I'm going to put his name. I used to have it memorized. I can't remember it right now. Here's what I'm going to put up for you. I'm going to put up. So what we're going to talk about tonight, and I will post it in here. Yes. That's it, right? That sounds right. Yes, Baston, something like that. That dude. I got grossed out looking into him. I had to stop. See, I don't think so. I thought that. You know, here's the thing. I used to think Karen was guilty, and now I think she's innocent. All right? I used to think Richard was possibly innocent because of Judge Gall, and because I had yet to see some of the things that eventually did come out, and I had yet to hear from Turbo. But I will say this much. There are things that I learned about this case before they caught Richard in regards to the crime scene evidence being leaked, who leaked it, one of the guys who helped leak it, and one of the guys who was really involved, who never gets brought up, who was super decorated ex-military, who was looking at a lot of fucking kid porn, came back, and when the feds were closing in on him for that, he shot himself in the head. He had a direct tie to leaking this shit. All right? So there's a lot of like background shit. And then when you have the lawyers of Richard tweeting, or they're fucking one of the lawyers and then one of the guys who eventually was blamed for leaking it, under alt accounts, tweeting out shit and then making jokes under their real accounts about that shit that no one would know, it's a bad look. But here's why I don't hate Judge Gull anymore. Because, and I don't hate anybody, but in all seriousness, here's why I don't really trust the anti-Judge Gull sentiment that a lot of people still have. The things that the defense allowed to get out, the things that they relied on, and the way they went about doing a lot of the shit they did could have gotten them disbarred, and it should have. She held back. If the shit they pulled would have happened in Cannoni's courtroom, oh, fuck. I don't know. It depends on what side Cannoni's on. But she didn't let that shit fly, and respect, because a lot of people, you cannot tell me that those defense attorneys had no way to stop that shit from getting out. They absolutely did. They absolutely did. And in my opinion, they handed it off to that guy, knowing that they could fucking throw him under the bus later. They leaked it. Whether it was on purpose or whether it was because of their own stupidity, there was plenty that they could have done to stop those pictures from getting out. And they didn't. And then they tried to blame someone else. Fuck that. They didn't give a shit about those girls when they let that shit happen. At that moment, I was like, well, I don't give a shit about you. I mean, sure. Sure, but here's the thing. Violent tendencies only need to happen once for them to be the first time. So, like, I don't necessarily think he got... Here's the thing. If he had gotten put in jail and all this happened to him because of violent tendencies, sure, I would need to see more, but that's not why. That's not why. Violent tendencies aren't what put him in there. It was the bullet, the bridge, the clothing matching, the vocal matching. Like, there was like a lot of different things. So I don't know. Yeah, but Ann Burgess was not an investigator on the case. What the fuck does she know? She knows about as much as we do. And with all respect, I love Ann. I agree with a lot of shit she says, but she's a profiler. Her job is funneling. She's not an investigator, and she didn't have access to all the evidence. I mean, we may as well trust fucking John Ray's guy at that point, you know? Like, even if John Douglas himself was like, nope. It's like, well, did you see the evidence? Please look at it first. That's what I would like. You know, I would like for, if Ann saw all the evidence, if she saw the pictures, if she was involved, if she like testified, sure. But I mean, she's a spectator just like we are. But I don't know. This shit, this is a wild fucking case. This is a wild fucking case. And I don't necessarily know that there was a motive if there was psychosis involved. You know, I don't know. But if they want to retry him and show us better shit, show us better evidence, I won't say no. If they want to retry him because they have evidence that someone else did it, please. I am all for being wrong. I do not want an innocent guy to be in prison. I don't. So I'm not against any of that. Like, if there's some evidence that somebody else did it, or if there is no evidence, but there's a way to find evidence that somebody else did it that they are withholding from us, by all means, show anything exonerable. I don't care. But it's weird. No, here's the thing about psychosis, though, Pumpkinhead. You can slip in and out of it. I wonder if he slipped into it when committing the murders. I wonder if something snapped in him. I don't know. But you can go in and out, you know? You can go in and out. Yeah, I highly suggest watching Turbo because, like me, Turbo, like, she has no stake in the game, but she was there. She actually has, I mean, I would say trust her over me. because she was there. She saw everything. I heard her tell me that stuff, and I had to process that and add it to what I had seen and then take out assumptions. And by God, dude, by God, it is wild. But we're going to do that in the future. Right now, here's what we're going to do tonight. And one of the reasons I added that in there is not just because it's new, but also we're about to start talking about a case. And this is our intro to it, okay? Normally, I would put this probably halfway through or after we see the case, we see the victim, we see the story. But I'm going to try something a little different. Okay? What I'm going to try today is I'm going to show you a lifetime movie depiction of what happened. And why am I showing you that? Because for 3 decades, even. And yeah, I think it was about 3. What is it? Okay, so 9. Yeah, so for 3 decades almost. In 2 years, it'll be 3 decades. This movie's been out. Okay. This movie has been out about a very specific case. It stars Punky Brewster. It was a Lifetime thing. And it's a case that happened in San Antonio, Texas, where I'm from, where I grew up. And I remember this case being all over the news. I remember it was terrifying. And this is one of the cases that I've spent a long time looking at, like a very long time, since prior to my first year of college. Yeah, so it would have been like 2000, 2001, around then. But this case happened, and it was a cold case. There was no answer to who the murderer was. No one knew who did it, who done it. No one had any clues. Everybody wanted to, of course, blame the boyfriend. And they made a movie about it. The movie is so egregiously far off from what we just found out happened. And by just found out, I mean in like the past 3 years, the guy who did it was finally caught. All right? The guy who allegedly did it, finally caught. I want to tell you more about that after you see the Lifetime depiction of it. Okay? So I'm going to show you 2 things first. I am going to show you a guy because, okay, we could watch the whole movie. It's an hour and 53 minutes. All right? We don't have time tonight. This is one of those cases when I heard about Abby and Libby, it made me think of this girl. It made me think of this girl because the iconography of the scene, the signature, the MO, all these different things. The actual victim herself, in this case, was pregnant, and she was a teenage girl very close to Abby and Libby's age. The way that she died, I'll just tell you this. When they found the body, it was in the woods. It had been there, police estimate, for almost 2 weeks. They could tell that she had survived that long based on nail growth and a few other things because of the way, you know, how some women, they do their nails on every fucking week or on a specific time, and they'll pluck their eyebrows. There's specific things that we do as women that we keep up with, maintenance. Now, this girl had a few obsessions. One was like her nails, things like that. Finding her quite a bit of time after she was kidnapped, and then seeing that, okay, I'll just say it. She was tied up in a way that was like being hogtied, but to her neck, so that the longer she struggled, the tighter it got. And she was abandoned in the woods, and she was pregnant, and she was a teenager. She survived, I believe, or was held almost 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, this young girl who has a baby inside of her that had a name was struggling. And the more she struggled, the more she died. Like the closer to death she got. This was right around the time, right after a couple of other very, very insane, horrific, just god-awful things happen to children involving kidnapping, murder in that area in San Antonio, Texas, or around it. Okay. So when this happened to this young lady, within a few years of those incidents, a lot of people wanted to connect them. I have a case file for one case that, I mean, no one is supposed to have, but somebody gave it to me who is very, very close. I mean, family member and a person who worked at an advocacy missing persons group for this specific case. And in this little girl's case, which was years before the one we're going to look at, they had a rope and they said it was unique. So when this case happened, there's another file in the case I had from the FBI and from Texas Rangers, from SAPD, that say this case could be connected to the one that I have based on these ropes. And they tried to blame this guy for both cases. After testing it, it was not this guy. Well, now the news comes out with, hey, they caught the guy who did this to Emily, the girl we're going to find out about, Emily Janette Garcia. And so in my head, that goes, well, fuck. If this guy did this to Emily Janette Garcia and he has the same rope as the case years before that I'm holding, what the fuck? Why have they not checked him for that? So I go to see, well, what are they doing with this guy now? Where is he? Well, he got put in jail on a murder bond. He got out on bond. They let him out. A murderer who murdered a woman who's pregnant. So he murdered a woman and the baby in that horrific way. And after 30 years, they finally fucking catch this guy. And Comal County lets him out. He is currently out on bail. I'm furious. And what makes me more furious is the same ranger who worked on this case worked on my case and another case and another case, the one that I have and a few others. And no one seems to have made this fucking connection. The literal Air Force is involved in one of them, OSI. And why? Because all of them are fighting. All the counties are fighting. It's a problem. So we're going to be focusing on that for a little bit. And you're about to get infuriated. You're about to get really angry. And I don't want you to be angry, but I want you to be angry for this. People need to be angry. And I have done more than notice it, Volcano. Trust me, I know the person who made the podcast on that personally. Like I have all the paperwork on that. And yes, I am stuck in 1991. I will say this much, with the yogurt shop murders specifically, I do think Kenneth McDuff could have been a very, very good candidate if he had been put into CODIS, which would have been fucking nice considering all the women he killed. And he confessed to it. And there was evidence that he could have that he was definitely there, like in the area. So they may have wasted that. I hope not. Shit, one of the girl's best friends, her son works at my coffee shop. I see him every fucking day. I mean, no, Kenneth McDuff was not black. He was a white guy. And the two guys in Mexico that confessed to it, they let out because they said, oh, we couldn't find anything connecting them. Well, they didn't have their DNA. They had nothing to go on. McDuff, McDuff. He's a serial killer from Texas. He killed a woman in Austin, like right around that time. And he worked with another guy out of Georgetown. It's fucking disgusting. And keep in mind, right before this crime we're about to see happened, and right before the yogurt shop murders, and right before fucking Heidi Seaman, and right before every single horrific kid murder in Texas, guess what our governor did? Ann Richards, who I stand, who I love. Guess what she did? She said, the prisons are too full. We need to do something. And they let out anybody who had a life sentence and had been in there over like 20 years, which happened to be a bunch of serial killers and child killers and child molesters. So they let out at least 30 that went on to kill more immediately upon being let out. And I think like 10 of them were some of the cases we've talked about. So it is so fucked. Hello, Satan. Nice to see you. So we're going a little backwards here today. Yeah, it was dumb as fuck. And that's the thing. Love you, Anne. Anne Richards and her daughter started Planned Parenthood. They started like they're good women. She was a fantastic governor. King of the Hill wouldn't have made so many jokes about her if she wasn't. California did the same thing. They said, let's let out a bunch of people who have been in there who have learned their lesson. They've been in, and they pressured the parole board. You have to let these people out. Oh, they didn't do that because the war on drugs was starting and marijuana is what caused all the problems back then. Not now, but back then. That's what they blamed. So the potheads had to stay in prison. It was anybody who was in there over X amount of time, they get out. And so the parole board said, sure, parole and pardons said, sure, go on ahead, let them all out. Kenneth McDuff was let out, and he went on to kill dual digits of women and girls. It was disgusting. The devil's lettuce, agree. I think I'll have some now. I'm getting worked up. So we're going to watch two things. We're going to watch. So, okay, I'm warning you, we're going to watch the Lifetime movie. Before we watch the Lifetime movie, we're going to watch this guy, Jay, did a great rundown of it. What happens in The Killing Secret, which came out in 1997. This was the movie based on the case we're going to go into. Why? Because I want you to see how a Lifetime movie, a report from the news, a person's interview can be so far from the truth, and why it's important to see the paperwork, to get the FOIA, to have that attention, because you need facts. And again, I agree with you guys all completely. I have no fucking clue why they did that. I think that unfortunately it was a situation where, I mean, prisons were overcrowded to the point where it was like 7-1. Like for every one person you're supposed to have in a cell, add 7. Like it was bad. There was nowhere for people to sit. And unfortunately, private prisons were on the rise and people were benefiting and making a lot of money from them, but they weren't that popular yet. And not enough people were making enough money off of it yet. So they had yet to build them. So what do we do with all these killers? What do we do with all these inmates who aren't killers? Well, like a shelter, which dog's been there the longest? Let them out. It's what they did. It was disgusting. It was really disgusting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play you. This is a guy, I agree with you completely, because there's incentive. There's incentive to keep people in. That's bad. It's bad if it's someone who's nonviolent, right? Fucking Jesus. It's crazy how the system works.
So you've got your perfect...
So we're going to watch this guy give us a rundown of The Killing Secret, which is based on the actual case that we're going to be talking about, where they have caught the guy and then they released him on bond. Okay? And I want you to see the difference between what really happened and what everyone believed happened, because people saw this movie and it stuck in their heads. And they go, oh, that case. And what they remember is what's in the movie, not what really happened. And there is not a single one that could be further from the truth than what The Killing Secret was from the actual case of Emily Janette Garcia. And I want you to see that. The movie's called The Killing Secret. Now, this guy's going to give you a hilarious rundown of it. He's going to ridicule it mercilessly, and I appreciate him for that. I will put a link to his channel below, and then we will watch the actual movie ourselves. And then we're going to get into the real case. All right, here we go. Here we go. And also, Emily Janette Garcia was a Hispanic girl from the southwest side of San Antonio who looked nothing like the person portraying her in this movie. I will point that out. Here we go.
So you've got your perfect life planned out with your perfect boyfriend. Everyone loves him, and you're just about to go off to the same college. Then you find out he's got some other girl pregnant, and she's gone missing.
That doesn't look good.
This is the killing secret. I'm Jay Harang, and I've wasted hours of my life watching terrible films.
You should subscribe.
This is Nicole and her boyfriend Greg. They're making out on this boat, and this old couple is watching.
Okay.
Life is great for Nicole. She's the head cheerleader, and Greg is the starting quarterback. But things aren't as perfect as they seem. Greg's friend PJ's like, will you be seeing Nicole later, Greg? Greg's like, guess again.
Oh, dear. I can't even get a girlfriend, and you've got two. So how come I never met this secret sex machine?
She lives in Vernon. Consider a charity work for the poor. And a dog.
So Greg seems nice. Vernon is the poor part of town. Emily, Greg's side piece, lives here with her mum, and all they talk about is how poor they are. You may recognize Emily as Punky Brewster from the 80s TV show of the same name. Greg comes to pick her up. He takes her to their special place, an abandoned warehouse his dad's company owns, which Greg calls the Love Shack. Love Shack, baby! And then they... Afterwards, she's like, Greg, it's a bit weird that we've been together for 4 months and I've never met your friends or family. I've never been to your house. We only ever come to this abandoned warehouse.
You do love me, don't you, Greg?
Meanwhile, Nicole is with her friends who are telling her she needs to tie Greg down before college. As he's so good, everyone else is going to want him. Back at the warehouse, Greg receives some bad news. She's like, Greg, I'm pregnant. You're what? Oh, Greg's like, it's okay, we'll go to a clinic and I'll pay for everything.
No, Greg. We're gonna have a baby.
Back at the diner. The waitress is Tina, Emily's mum.
Bitch.
Nicole's friends seem nice. Greg drops Emily home and he's been unable to convince her to get rid.
We're gonna have a baby, Greg. We can build a life together.
I don't think so.
The next morning, Nicole finds out she's got accepted into 2 colleges, Duke and Chapel Hill, where Greg is going. Her mum's like, that's nice, Nicole. Just do whatever you can to stay with Greg. That night, it's Greg's 18th birthday party. He gets a phone call.
Hey, what's up? You're gonna have to take responsibility.
Greg's parents come down, give Greg his birthday present, a car, and tell everyone how good Greg is. But Greg's seen Emily parked up across the street, so he's going to have to deal with this.
Are you stalking me now?
This baby is born.
Maybe we can reach some sort of agreement, some kind of cash settlement or something.
Cash settlement? If this baby's gonna be born and raised in this town, do you want to tell your parents or should I?
So Greg gets out of the car and goes back to his party. The next day, Greg has a plan.
Hey, Emily, it's me. Yeah, listen, we need to talk, okay? On the corner by the movie theater in about 20 minutes. See you then.
He's still pushing the clinic idea, but Emily's not having any of it.
We're gonna have this baby.
He's like, no, you're not.
Yes, I am.
We don't see exactly what happens after that, but I think it's fair to say that Greg deals with the issue without having to go to the clinic.
Yep.
5 days later, there's another party at Greg's house, and he's in a much better mood. That is until a news report comes on about Emily's disappearance. Nicole recognizes Emily's mum as Tina from the diner. Greg changes the channel. When Nicole gets home, she sees more about it on the news and decides to go over to Tina's house. Tina's like, yeah, hi. Can you put some of these posters up at your high school? Somebody there may know something. The next day, PJ drives Greg, Nicole, and her friend, who he's trying to shag, to the Love Shack. Nicole finds a flower button on the floor. Greg's like, I'll take that. But she's like, no, it's mine. The next day, police come over to visit Tina. They're like, we're going to stop working on this case as we reckon Emily's just run away.
I see.
Have you contacted all her friends?
Just about.
So Tina goes around Greg's house. Greg tells her that Emily used to talk about running away from home.
Well, did she say anything else?
She just said, maybe I'll run away from home. And I never really gave it much thought.
As Tina's leaving, Nicole comes in. She's like, what are you doing here? Tina leaves quickly, so Nicole's like, Greg?
Tina, what is going on? Greg was seeing Emily. Your boyfriend was cheating on you. Welcome to the real world.
The next day at school, some weird guy is painting a mural of Emily and gets arrested. Greg tries to talk to Nicole, but she's not interested. All Greg's friends are like, oh, come on, it's not that bad. Just get back together with him. Greg's like, come on, Nicole. I only took her out a couple of times. Let's meet later. She's like, I can't because I'm going to a search party to find your other girlfriend. So Greg joins in too. When Nicole gets back home, the parents are like, ooh, guess who we bumped into today? Greg's parents.
Wow.
Greg's dad said he might finance your stepdad's condominium project.
Maybe you could get Greg to put in a good word with this old man. Greg and I aren't seeing each other anymore. Excuse me? I broke it off. Why would you do that? Things weren't working out.
Her mum and stepdad are livid because, like everyone else in this town, they love Greg more than their own kids.
True.
That night, there's a graduation party. Greg's there, obviously, because he's the king of the town. He tells Nicole he wants to get back together with her, and she agrees to take him back. Meanwhile, by the lake...
What's that? Oh, my God.
Yes, it's Emily's dead body, so now it's time for the funeral. Nicole decides to go because Tina's her friend now, and she brings Greg.
I mean, as if they couldn't do less justice to the case, let's just go back to this. They find the dead body. Who finds it?
Graduation party. Greg's there, obviously, because he's the king of the town. He tells Nicole he wants to get back together with her, and she agrees to take him back. Meanwhile, by the lake...
What's that?
Spoiler alert, there was no party by the lake. They didn't find it. Obviously, the boyfriend, like, really? Her friends from a high school that she went to 70 miles away? No. They didn't find it. She was not wrapped in a trash bag. None of this is right.
Oh, my God.
Yes, it's Emily's dead body, so now it's time for the funeral. Nicole decides to go because Tina's her friend now, and she brings Greg.
What?
Nicole's friend Shannon doesn't like the fact that Nicole and Tina have become friends.
You've sure been spending a lot of time with that woman lately. I mean, all of a sudden you're off hanging out in Vernon. It's not like everybody that lives in Vernon is a criminal. Whatever.
When they get back to Greg's house, the police are waiting for him.
It's the Emily DiCaprio situation. There have been some developments.
They found out that Emily was strangled and she was pregnant.
The baby was Greg's.
No. No. No.
Yes.
But this doesn't stop Nicole going to the summer dance with him. Nicole's friends have turned on her because she hangs around with Tina.
Asphyxiated by a rope. And again, I explained earlier, I'm not going to explain again, but how it happened, very, very different. Continue.
Tina, who's accusing King Greg of killing her daughter. And you can't say bad things about Greg in this town.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
On the way home, Greg tells Nicole that Emily's baby could be anyone's because she used to get drunk and sleep around. Nicole's like, okay, Greg, where were you the night she died? He's like, how dare you ask me that?
I want you to stop seeing Tina DiCaprio. You just better figure out whose side you're on.
The next day when Nicole gets home from wherever, I don't know, Greg's parents are there because her stepdad has just closed a deal with Greg's dad. They all start slagging off Tina and he's like, maybe you can talk some sense into her, Nicole, seeing as you're friends. But the police have arrested someone. It's that weird guy who was painting a mural at the school earlier. The abandoned house he lived in is littered with Emily posters and he has a long history of mental illness and violent crimes. They tell Tina that this is the guy.
Are you absolutely sure?
None of this happened.
We're sure.
When they did catch the guy, by the way, it was not catch the guy. When they found the body, it was 10 years later. I'm sorry. No, they found the body shortly after that, like within, I believe it was a year or two, but it took 10 years for the family to realize it was her because the FBI and, believe it or not, Texas Rangers, even though the ranger who knew about the body, helped with the testing, and ran the investigation, even though he personally knew the entire family of Emily, the circumstance, what she looked like, everything about her, they had yet to connect her to the body. So this Jane Doe sat there for 10 years until the family saw it on the news and went, hey, that's Emily. Imagine how furious they were to find out that the body had not been ID'd and it had in fact been buried, I believe, without them knowing it was her. The family had to make the connection and then go in on it and force them to figure out, is this our Emily? I would be fucking furious. Continue.
Really?
When Nicole finds out, she goes to see Tina. Tina apologizes for accusing Greg, but Nicole's annoyed she tried to ruin his life. Later that day, there's another party. Greg takes Nicole out to the lake where Emily's body was dumped, and then they bang. Later at the abandoned warehouse, there's another news report about Emily. This time, for some reason, it's showing police photographs, and Nicole sees the shirt Emily was wearing in one of them, with a missing button. The same button found at the warehouse a few weeks ago.
Oh my
None of that happened.
goodness.
Nicole makes an excuse, leaves the party, and heads to the police station. She tells them about the button. The police aren't interested, but Nicole somehow manages to steal their file on Emily's murder.
Oh, come on.
She goes home and matches the button she found at the warehouse with the photo of Emily's shirt in the file. Nicole calls Tina and says she needs to speak to her urgently, so she heads to her house, but Greg is following her.
It's the button that was torn from her shirt the night that she died.
I know what it is.
Tina's like, it's not enough evidence. We need something else. Nicole says Greg's out of town this weekend, so she's going to go to the Love Shack and look for more evidence. That night, she goes there and finds a blood stain on a lampshade. She grabs the lampshade and is about to leave, but Greg's not away for the weekend.
I have done some horrible things, Nick.
I know.
He's like, it's going to be fine. Let's just keep this between us. She's like, no, Greg, you have to tell the police. But Greg's not telling the police. He starts to strangle Nicole. Tina has arrived with a crowbar and is about to hit him. But Greg starts feeling bad and says sorry. At an unspecified time later, Greg is charged and sentenced to life in prison.
I'm sorry.
And that's the end of the film. So until now.
Okay. So here, let me let it finish, and then I'll tell you the deets.
Next time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and check.
There we go. Now I have my shit pulled open. Let me pull open this. Hold on. All right. So Emily Janette Garcia, she goes missing. I fucked up earlier. It was 2 weeks before the body was found. So it's even worse. My apologies. February 12th, she goes missing. All right. She's 15 years old. She's 3 months pregnant. She's staying on the northeast side of San Antonio. Okay. She's living away from her family at the time because she was dating a guy, spending time with him, who was a gang member. Now, I told you guys how in the early 90s, how gangs were a really big deal in San Antonio. So in an act of tough love, her parents are like, it wasn't like a fight where it's like never speak to us again, but it was a situation where essentially, your 15-year-old gets pregnant and she's hanging out with these gang members and it's hard to keep her at home. Okay. So the fact that she would run away, not really run away like in a legal sense where they would put that she was a runaway, but that's what she would do. She would go stay at the boyfriend's house, right? She gets pregnant. She has this group that she hangs out with. Her family they're religious and they don't agree with this. They're like, please stop hanging out. We don't want you to fall into, the gang lifestyle. So she goes missing. 2 weeks later, this body is found over in Canyon Lake. So it's Old Cranes Mill Road, which is out kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's New Braunfels area. It's Wimberley area. It's the area where another body was found. Heidi Seaman, who that's Heidi Seaman and Roxanne Paldoff are the reason I'm here. Okay. Those are the cases that are the most dear to me ever in all of crime. Like, those are the things that I have the most information on. I've spoken to a lot of people in those cases who worked on the case, who's family members of the case, investigators, forensic techs, Air Force people. Like, I've spoken to everyone in those cases that you can imagine. And we are going to, that was the original point of this channel, was that was going to be a podcast on Roxanne and then eventually Heidi. So these are the two cases that are the most dear to me that I protect with my life. Catch Lisk with Lisk, that is me with those. Okay. We don't talk about those a lot because there's some shit happening with them right now. And when it's done and I feel comfortable sharing it, we will share it. Okay. However, and we will have family members on, people on who you're going to hear from. I promise you that. This case fell into my lap while looking into one of those cases, Heidi's, and another. And This area where they found the body 2 weeks later, when they found it, the rope, all of that, they realized she had been killed right after being kidnapped. And she was kept alive with these ropes on based on the rope burn, the markings on the wrist, how it was tied, and then the links of her fingernails and specific other forensic things that they could tell. Not only was this poor girl who's 3 months pregnant with a baby, not only was she found out there to have been definitely tortured, kept alive, but the more she struggled, the worse it got. And she eventually perished. Now, imagine that happens. 2 weeks later, this body's found, and you are her family, and you have reported her missing, and they're telling you, oh, she's a runaway. Oh, maybe. And the whole city's talking about it, and it's on the news, and everybody's saying, it must have been the boyfriend. He didn't want her to have a baby. Everybody blamed the boyfriend, okay? So imagine that. And then 4 years later, this movie comes out. All right. And it's portraying all this shit, none of which was true. Like damn near almost all of it was just made the fuck up. The one thing that was in line with some of the news pieces that were going on that day was could have been the boyfriend, that whole thing, right? So now imagine if years go by and you find out that that body existed. This body was found. It was a girl. It matched everything. And oh my God, that's our Emily. And nobody fucking told you. And you as a family had to call them to go, hey, no one fucking asked us about this, but is that our Emily? That's a fucking problem. It is a fucking problem. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a news article, and then I'm going to show you some of the stuff that has been reported on the case. Okay. This is from the Texas Department of Public Safety. And this is the Comal County Cold Case Investigations, Central Texas Region, Texas Rangers Company F Cold Case Unit, which is a lot to say. And this came out 3 years ago. All right. Emily Janette Garcia was a young 15-year-old girl living away from her mother and sister in the northeastern part of San Antonio. Emily was last seen alive in San Antonio a few days prior to her death. On Thursday, February 25th, 1993, her body was found near Cranes Mill Road in Comal County. An autopsy determined Emily died from asphyxia due to ligature strangulation. There was also evidence of a sexual assault. Do you have any information that can help solve this case? Here you go. Watch this.
Emily Janette Garcia was a 15-year-old female living away from her mother and sister in San Antonio. She was known to hang out with friends on the northeast side of town at different pool halls. Emily was last seen alive in San Antonio a few days prior to her death. On Thursday, February 25th, 1993, her body was found near Cranes Mill Road in Comal County. An autopsy determined Emily died from asphyxia due to ligature strangulation. There was also evidence of sexual assault.
Emily Garcia's killer has never been caught, and her story has not been told. Using science and advanced investigative techniques, the Texas Rangers Cold Case Unit is reevaluating the murder of this innocent teenager. Emily's story may invoke someone's memory. There are people out there that know. Someone has said something to somebody. Help us bring closure to Emily's family and justice to her killer.
Okay. So they put this out. All right. This comes out about 3 years ago. Not only does this come out, but there's a blurb in the news finally after fucking forever of them not really covering it. Now, at this point, the family's I would imagine they're pretty fucking pissed. In fact, I don't have to imagine it because there is an entire website that they not only put up right when this happened in the 90s, they kept it up. It's still up today. And if you want to talk about old ass GeoCities, Lycos, those websites, it is still running today. And they kept a very detailed blog, the family, of every single bit of movement in the case. In fact, as soon as they had photos of her body with the ligature still on it, the family put it out on the website because they were so desperate for tips and information. Okay. It took 30 years for the fucking Rangers to finally put out something that shows anything about this case that is accurate after identifying the body that was found in the woods. So the family waits, I believe it was almost a decade before they finally realized, oh, hey, that is our Emily. What the fuck happened with that case? All right. They update how that happened on the website. They update the names of every investigator. They tell you every single thing that was told to them, single thing that was done, everything about Emily. When that shitty fucking movie came out, they fucking updated like this is what's not true. This is what's true. Like they fucking give you a rundown of everything you need to know. All right. We will be going through that website here in a couple of days. Now I'm going to show you what happened because of not just this, but when this happened, when the cold case detectives put this out, it went on a couple of news stations. Someone saw it and they called in a tip. That tip led to the person you're about to see. So let me go ahead and play that for you. So you can see this happened 3 years ago. It was literally right after. This is a Brazoria County man, which is very close to San Antonio. A 1993 close to the hill country even. And this is who got caught for it. Oddly enough, this guy, when this happened, I was all over fucking social media going through everything of his that existed because I'm like, he's going to get out and take it down, right? This guy was definitely a gang member. He has some fucked up knuckle tattoos. He has a fucked up history. But not only is this guy a fucking dumbass, he put up pictures of himself back then, right before he got arrested. So there are pictures of him in the 90s before he looks like what you're about to see. Literally around that time with people around him at parties that he put up to reminisce about, you know, his high school experience, which I believe is incredible OSINT and data to have. And of course, since he put that up, others have taken it down. But what's odd is after he got caught, he legally married what is now his wife. And it makes me wonder why. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you this now. So this is that video we just watched goes out. It's blasted on the news finally after like 30 years. Boom, tip, and here we are. And by the way, that's what Emily really looked like. So here we go.
A 1993 cold case murder is solved. Tonight, an arrest in the brutal killing of a 15-year-old San Antonio girl who was pregnant.
Nearly 30 years later, Thomas Galindo arrested at his home in Brazoria County for the slaying of Emily Garcia. Eyewitness News reporter Henry Ramos is live outside the Comal County Jail where Galindo sits tonight.
Henry, what led to his arrest 28 years after the murder?
Aaron and Deborah, the Texas Rangers and the Comal County Sheriff's Office went back to reevaluate the case. They also re-interviewed numerous people. And through that line of questioning, new information came to light, which led to the arrest of the 50-year-old accused.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that's one version of it. What actually happened from what I've looked into, and I've spoken with people, and I did reach out to the person who I believe made the tip. A tip was made. It was called in, and it was about this guy. So I think the news might have it a little wrong here, but that's just my opinion.
Murder. In bold red letters, a cold murder case is now solved. This after 28 years of agony and no answers for the family of Emily Garcia. Her life came to an end in February 1993. Emily was 15 years old and pregnant. Days after she was last seen alive, her body was found in Comal County. Investigators say she had been strangled and sexually assaulted. But who killed Emily? That was a question that haunted her family for nearly 3 decades.
I can't get on with my life.
In 2003, KENS 5's Deborah Knapp spoke with Emily's mother and investigators about the cold case.
One day I'll put someone in jail for killing Emily Garcia.
The family and investigators never gave up on finding Emily's killer. The case was stalled for several years, but in 2017, the Comal County Sheriff's Office renewed its investigation. Then earlier this year, they asked the Unsolved Crimes Investigation Program with the Texas Rangers to review the case. This Friday, an arrest. Investigators didn't say what is new information that came to light, but they believe Galindo and the victim were acquaintances. And important to note, it's not known exactly how Emily and Galindo knew each other. At the time, Galindo was 21 years old. Also important to note, on the 10th anniversary of the murder, investigators told us there was a DNA sample, though it's unclear if DNA was used to tie Galindo to this case. As I mentioned, he's right behind me here at the Comal County Jail on a $100,000 bond. We're live in New Braunfels tonight. Henry Ramos, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Okay. So here's the thing about this case. He's right behind on a $100,000 bond, or was it 10? What did he say? I think it was $100,000 bond, right? Okay. So that is the bond for a young lady who was tortured, left in the woods, tied up, pregnant, 2 fucking deaths. Not 1, 2. Okay. That's a problem. That's a very low bond, and that's a fucking problem. And I don't like it. Now, I am going to show you here. Let me pull this up real quick. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's on the Ramby Grove Cemetery Memorial page, which is the page that lists all of the memorializations from the family. Okay. So baby Emilio was the name of the baby. This is what Emily looked like around when she went missing. And I'll tell you this much. Galindo was not the boyfriend. So the boyfriend got blamed for 30 years. And that was not Galindo. Galindo was an acquaintance who hung out at the pool hall and was in another gang in the area. And right here, this is what her family put. They put a whole rundown of the case so that you can see everything that you need to see. All right. And not only that, but they put in a lot of the older photos from the website. I think it was our Aunt Teresa of Emily, none of which match that fucking Lifetime movie, which really drives me nuts. Like, I can't believe that they put that out there. Like, I really can't. So this is Emily. All right. This is what's going on here. So why are we looking at this case? Why are we looking at this case right now? We're looking at this case right now because this guy got let out on bond and no one said shit. There's not a single, I wish I could show you a news report saying, hey, why'd he get let out? Eyewitness News investigates. There's nothing. No one said shit. No one gave a shit in the media to bring this up. I have yet to see a single, no YouTubers, no fucking podcast, nobody reported that he's been left out or let out. They let him out. This guy who did this to her and her baby is out there right now. He can go to the mall. He can do whatever he wants. fucking disgusting. You know what? I'll show you that. Give me a moment, Pumpkinhead. Let me go pull those papers. Okay. And while I pull those papers to show you, we'll just go ahead and start the Lifetime movie. Oh God, it showed my stream pop up right under it, and you can literally see me as blurry as fuck. I'll start the movie. I know we saw a rundown of it, but I'm going to hit start so that you can see how they portrayed this bullshit in real time. And I'm going to go pull up that record because that's what I have on deck. All right. I've been holding this in. I've been really pissed about this for weeks. This has actually been fucking pissing me off. I wanted to wait and see if I could get a response from Comal County. I wanted to see if I could get some records from them. I wanted to call and get a statement, find out why. They have given me nothing. I've gotten nothing. They have no reason, no excuses. They don't call back. They don't want to talk about it. So now we're talking about it. So here, I'm going to play this while I go pull that record for you so you can see it. Because I don't fucking know why. It's egregious. I'll be right back.
Oh, baby, was it in the sand when you called me up to see when I'm coming home? Oh, maybe more than coincidence. Oh, this night I was standing alone. What are you doing? Get in the middle of a public place. You can see. What if a plane flies over? Give me one of these my shit. Oh, that's a pretty good reason. Oh, baby, what is a submarine? Pops up over there and sees yeah. Okay. Oh, baby. Okay. Don't please. No, wait, don't please. I've been spinning alone, and as sure as there's the sky above, instead of who's searching. Yeah, boy. There ain't no rules for love. That's for certain.
So what's up later? You gonna hook up with Nicole? Yes again? No. Don't tell me. You slay me, man. I can't even get a girlfriend, and you've got two. Nicole finds out, you're gonna be roadkill. Never happened, dude. Way too smooth. So how come I never met this secret sex machine?
Oh, she lives in Vernon. She goes to Palace High. Consider a charity work for the poor.
We're gonna write anecdotes.
Those are pretty buttons. Where'd you get them? I found them at the flea market. And I showed it at a thrift store. I like it. Well, I've never seen anything quite like them. They're little flowers. Pretty, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm going to Jason's. Andy, I want you back at a decent hour. Andy! I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe his father could take better care of him. Dreamboat's here.
God damn it. Did I get murked by Lifetime? Did I get murked? Fuck. Fuck, I got murked. All right, everyone. Am I back? Let me know when I'm back. We got temp marked. Okay, we got temporarily marked. All right. We had a little murky durky. Okay. Let's see if this works. Let's see if Dad comes back. Okay. Let's see if Dad comes back. Maybe we'll do some Marcus. That's the thumbnail now. What is? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, like anyone is watching that but us. Great point. Can you guys see me? What do you put on to sleep? Uh-oh. Fucking this. What you just saw. And then I get mad. And then I fall asleep. Has anyone ever been suspended? Can you guys even see me right now? It's going to be a 30-second delay before anybody does. And yes, I have. I have been suspended in school. Kindergarten, actually. Need to be ready for when she's back. I'm back. I'm back. Can you guys see me? Let's see. Can you guys see a bitch? Oh, why does this happen to me? Why does this always happen? It's because I'm breaking the rules. Let's see. Am I back? Nope. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm back. It's probably gonna have a 30-second delay. You saw me for 1 second? Oh, great. Excellent. Good. Good. Well, as long as you guys saw me for a second, that's fine. Hello, I'm back. Okay, good. Hi. Hi, everybody. We got marked for a second. I guess that was not a good workaround. You popped off for a second, then left. Okay. But I'm here now. I'm here now. Chatty, chat, chat, chat. Okay, excellent. Sorry, I have to physically find the file in my folders because when I went to the Comal County site to find the record for you guys, the site is broken now. How convenient, but it's okay because I saved a copy. I'm going to go pull that for you so that you can see all of the bond info. You can't see or hear me. Wait, what? Can you see me now? What about now? Oh, for Pete's sake, what happened? Was back for half a second. I'm flashing like an apparition. Well, that's good. This is great. This is exactly what we wanted. Are you picking him up? What? Were you picking him up and lifting him? Okay, let's see. What about now? Can you guys see me now? Nothing to better to get in trouble for it. True. Love gets you in trouble? Oh, fuck. Well, you're all grounded. Start a new stream. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Okay, yes. Excellent. We're back. Okay, fuck. Well, guess what? You know who will never strike us? You know who will never do something like this to us? Fucking Marcus. So while I was trying to tell you guys earlier, went to pull the record for, and I'm not blurry. Oh, it's because Dad's boyfriend came home. He is the Wi-Fi. He's walking Wi-Fi. Something happened when he returned, and the internet said, now I will work. The fuck, internet? Okay. So I go to pull the record for you guys. Brazoria County is down. The website's not working. It's glitched. But I saved the record, so I'm going to go pull it from my files for you because this is so egregious. It's pissing me off, and I need to show someone. I need to show you guys that this is real. They fucking did this. They let this guy out. Here's how much. Here's the info. We're going to look at it. Until I find it, I'm going to put on Marcus for you because they will never murk us. Marcus will never murk us. How interesting is that? But a fucking ripoff of a Lifetime movie murked us. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What? It did it again? Ugh. Really? Or are you guys fucking with me? Buy again. Buy again. Okay, 3 times? Oh. Am I gone again? Yeah, YouTube does suck. What the fuck? Am I gone again? Damn it. Join hands and pray to Hugin. I don't think it'll work. Did it work now? Fucking Trish. I hit him. Oh my God. Oh, good. Well, great. Oh, come on now. New stream? I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to. We have to figure something out. They have to bring me back. What's happening? Let's try it again. Fuck it. Let's try it again. Okay, what about now? The ghost of L. Ron Hubbard. Oh, no. Is it working now? That's what happens when you get too close to the truth. Oh, shit. I can't lurk either if they're being a little bitch. It's pissing me off. Can you guys see me now? It sucks because we're about to wrap up. I'm about to show you these docs and we're going to dip, so I don't get it. Psych. Are we good? Are we fucking good now? Still gone for a second. That's 5. Okay, good. They fucking murked me. All right. Well, what if I'm forever murked? Uh-oh. Well, you know, we're doing our best. We're trying our best. I don't know what to say. Unidentified network. Nothing still? Huh. Well, that sucks. That sucks pretty bad. Alpha's doing this? I'm too controversial? Uh-oh. Nothing? What? Back. Okay, thank goodness. What the fuck? You guys are very funny, though, in the chat. You're very funny. Okay. I'm about to wrap it up. So I don't know why I had to do this right now. But like I said earlier, I'm going to let Marcus play for you guys while I go pull that record because the Brazoria County website's having glitches. There's a bunch of bitches, and then we're going to wrap it up and go. All right? So I'm going to play this for you. Let me go pull that record, and then we're going to go. I don't know why they had to do this. We were going anyway. All right, here we go. Here, watch Marcus, and I'll be right back. Fucking A. Here we go. The chat woke you up good.
How old are you?
As hell.
How old are you, Marcus? Marcus, just ignore him.
42.
You're 42? How long does your species usually live?
43.
Wow, you don't have much time left, do you, Marcus? It's a very specific number, 43.
If anyone finds out, I'm about a spooky bop bop bitey bitty bob 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 on the ass.
I have no idea what you just said, but I'm just going to agree with it.
I hope they have corn chips.
Frog Guy was so unfunny, it hurts. I only watched because of Marcus, and your interactions with him are hilarious. Frog Guy, leave the theatrics to Marcus, please. Thank you.
I didn't even do theatrics. I was just soloing.
Please don't add the Frog Guy ever again. Frog Guy made this painful to watch.
Oh my god.
He ruined the vibe hard. I wish he wasn't such an event because I'm sad he's probably reading all these comments.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude.
Get that frog. Frog Guy was trying way too hard to be funny.
Yes.
Green Guy, Frog Guy, they don't like you, man. I'm sorry, all right?
What do you mean they don't
Dear
like me?
God, shut your damn mouth, you insufferable, contorted, shriveled testicle, having dumb ass testicle.
Marcus, stop.
Bitch ass.
Marcus, stop. Marcus,
Oh my god. Did you just insta-give him? Like, where did he go? He just vanished.
Robert,
Yeah.
don't let this get out.
Okay, I'm not going to tell anyone. Don't worry. I don't think he likes you very much.
Stupid fuck. Bull bitch ass.
Fuck you. You're gonna die.
Whoa, he jumped. Whoa, he's running. He's stuck in the wall. I saw that, Marcus. You got stuck in the wall for a second there. What is he doing? Whoa, what the hell? A raccoon. But first, hi, ma'am. Do you need help with anything? I can help you with anything that you need. Oh, I definitely do see my grandpa. He's really racist, and I need stuff for my... Oh, you have a boyfriend. Ah.
Grandpa.
What?
This isn't Jimbo James.
Oh, okay. Where's Jimbo James?
This is Jimbo James.